I just want to make sure the audio is working now. It should work just fine. It's all plugged in. It's just the audio is going to just magically work and everything.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, unmuted. I'll tune in real quick and still
Hey, John.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you hear me?
Sure can.
Excellent.
It's going to be remote.
Brent.
Yeah, Brent. Brent's going to be on remote. Gary, you're a doctor. What did you practice?
I did foot and ankle surgery.
Foot and ankle.
Cannot believe it, but it's been 15 years since I retired.
Wow.
I practiced for 43 years. 4 years keep flipping by.
Yeah. Oh, we're ready. Gosh, I didn't know it was already 7. Guess we need to jump on. Morning, Brent.
Good morning, everyone.
So you can hear us okay?
Yep, hear you just fine.
Even as you're driving?
Here in a moment, I'm going to switch out and let my wife drive.
Can you say something again? We're testing the audio.
Good morning, everyone. They're working.
No. I mean, we can hear you, but I'm trying to get it on the owl speaker, so. This should be it right here.
Yeah.
Is there anything I need to do on this?
Is your volume turned? Is it coming out of your computer or is it?
It is right now, but it's set to echo canceling speakerphone.
Do the digital output and see if that goes through the TV.
Okay, let's try it again. Brent?
Testing. Beautiful morning.
Okay.
Is that any better?
Just no, it's not coming out like we'd like it to, but I think we'll be able to hear you okay.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay, let's go ahead and start. We don't have a quorum, so we'll welcome who's here. And we won't be able to approve the minutes without a quorum. So I guess, Chris, let's just go ahead with what you got planned.
Okay, we'll just jump right in. Welcome, everybody. Next, it's next Tuesday at City Council. The Public Works Advisory Commission will be providing its annual report, and we had several meetings, and we were just going to review those and what we were able to review and accomplish over the last year. And then we'd like to get any input or feedback that you might have regarding the presentation, which Jim and I have started. We started working on it last week. And but we'd like to get your input and feedback as commission members as well.
That meeting's at 6 o'clock, right?
The city council meeting starts at 6 and will be one of the first items on the agenda. So the regular session starts at 6. And we'll probably be on at the earliest, probably 6:20 or so. But if you were to be there at the beginning, that would be great.
Oh, we've got a quorum.
Good morning. Good morning.
Let's go ahead and approve the minutes now. If we can have that done.
So moved.
So moved. Second. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Minutes are approved.
Very good. Great, welcome. We were just mentioning that next week is our annual report to the city council. It'll be on at about 6:15 or so. The meeting starts at 6, and then you just never know exactly when we're going to be on, but we're going to be towards the beginning of the meeting. Everyone's invited to come to attend, and I've asked Jim to present on that with me and to give a summary of last year. And what we've prepared, and I'll share it with everyone here, and you can all look at it and make any recommendations to the presentation. This is just a very it's black and white. Okay, there are some pictures, but it'll be doctored up and made look nice and pretty before the meeting. But in this meeting, we just wanted to kick it off and just introduce everybody that's there. And if you're not there, then we'll at least recognize you.
Hey, Chris.
Yes.
Just for your information, we have a truth and taxation hearing at the same time.
Oh yeah,
so
that's right.
I will not be there.
Okay.
We'll
Apologize.
take some of the angry mobs.
Yes. We anticipate that.
We were anticipating a lot of opposition to our PWAC presentation, so we appreciate that. Crazy PWAC. Well, good luck with that. Oh, yep, I will do that. But I do need to edit it though during the meeting. Okay. So I need to start the presentation right here.
See how helpful she is.
I know.
Isn't that great? Thank you.
Yes, yes. Okay, great. And then I can go over here, right? And it's not going to be a problem. I'm editing. All right. Wanted to make sure we got all of your names and all the information correct. If anything's changed, if you let us know. Jim's been retired for a couple of years. He was most recently the facility manager. Was that your title there at UVU?
Associate VP for Facilities and Planning.
Oh, that's much more impressive. Let me fix that.
We all hope to be like Jim.
Yeah.
One day retire.
Yeah. Do you know it's 11 years now?
Wow.
It's been a long time. It's like I forgot anybody that's even there now.
Are you busier as a retiree than you were as an employee?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right here.
But now I'm not getting paid for it.
It's true. That's right also here.
So associate VP over what?
Facilities.
Facilities and planning. All right. And then on the line, we have Brent. Brent, is this look correct for you for?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. Vice President, Products Engineering at West Tech Engineering. We work with Brent and West Tech quite a bit, actually, as a city. Mr. Morley, Dr. Morley, retired medical.
DPM.
Pardon?
DPM.
DPN?
Yeah.
What does that stand for? M?
Podiatric medicine.
Doctor of Podiatric Medicine, aka feet. All right. And then Robert Moore, General Counsel.
That's true.
Okay. Mike Whimpey, Assistant GM. at Central Utah Water Conservancy District. And then last we knew that Todd Hadley was still senior network and security engineer at Nielson, but he is a network engineer. And then I think Joe Gordan may have switched a position, but we'll figure that out later.
I think he's still there.
Is he still there? Oh, okay. He might have been looking. All right.
Now, I will say to you, if they ask why you have two from Central Utah Water, I didn't come on before I went to Central Utah Water. I was in the county.
Right.
That's where I started here.
Right.
Tell him we met him here and we thought he was so good. You have to be careful at PWAC.
That's crazy. We're crazy here.
It's either here or on a golf course, you're going to find somebody to recruit, right? So very good. We got that information taken care of. The history. I just wanted to provide a brief history of the inception of the commission. I think you've all heard of this, but I've mentioned it in the past, but the Public Works Advisory Commission didn't exist before 2014. And it was right about that time that the Public Works staff was considering doing a major overhaul on our master plans for our utilities, for sewer, for water, for stormwater specifically. And then that's kind of what started this, but that then expanded. And we'll get into that in just in a sec. But I think our advisory commission has been very collaborative. We've received a lot of information. We've been through a lot of presentations. We've had many discussions. We've reviewed plans and so forth. We've had to some degree a little bit of debating going on, which has been really good. And then endorsements overall in the end. You've been very uniform and not necessarily unanimous with everything, but there's been good, healthy discussions that have had to take place, especially as we've considered rates or anything that would impact our general public. And I think it's been a very good and healthy course and discussion over the several months that we've met. But even since 2014, we've had a variety of members that have represented different segments of our community, and I think it's gone very well along those lines. I don't know if you all knew this, but it started as a 7-member commission, and then we're trying to nail down these dates. Maybe April, you can help us with this. When it went to 9 members, do you remember when that might have been? What year? Well, I got 2019 in here right now. Was it 17?
Yeah. Members for
Okay, I'm going to highlight that.
started Utopia meetings in 2016. September 2016.
Why isn't that highlighting? Ooh. What was 2016? What did you see on that?
Very first Utopia meeting that we had was September of 2016.
Oh.
Which was my very first meeting. It was actually up at the treatment plant.
Really?
Tour, and that was the first time we started to talk about Utopia as well.
Did we have, but we didn't have 9 members then though.
We didn't have 9 members that we went up, I believe, in 2017.
Okay. That sounds like a fact. All right, 2017, our membership expanded to 9. Did you all know that? Did everyone know that? I know. So we had 9 members for a period of time where we, and this is going to be a kind of a back and forth, provide input. I'll make some changes for the presentation here. We just want to get everyone's eyes on this, and anything that any impressions you may have had during the course of the last year, you wanted to make sure that we represented those, bring those forward now. So that happened at that time. Sam Lentz was our representative from the city council, and he did an outstanding job on reviewing a lot of the analysis and information from Utopia and UIA. So we did expand at that time. We never thought we would expand to something like fiber optics and broadband, but we were asked to do so by the city manager's office, and so we did. And we had several back-to-back monthly meetings with a variety of different broadband experts and so forth. And I think it was in 24, just a couple of years ago, I went back. No, that, you know, if that's correct, or if it was even sooner than that. I might have that date wrong, but it wasn't that long ago. Okay. the membership went back to 7 members.
I don't remember 9 members. So I've been here a little while.
So that number's got to be wrong then.
I'm not saying it is.
I'm pretty sure it is. We'll fix that. And then this is, whoops. The duty, this is taken strictly from the code. We're not going to read this in the meeting, but I just wanted to highlight for them the different things that we do cover. We don't just do the utilities, sewer, water, stormwater. We've had reviews and discussions on streetlights, road presentations. We talked about a transportation utility fee, telecommunications, broadband, fiber, cemetery.
I'm not sure your slide advanced. Are you on a different slide?
I am on a different slide. We've had this challenge. I don't know why it's doing that.
Might be the way you shared it.
What way should I share it? This is just my screen.
It froze on us like this.
Yeah. All right. Let me resolve that really quick.
Our next item to tackle was IT and public works.
IT, no kidding. This is called Control-Alt-K, Control-Delete, I should say, for presentations. Just 1 second, Brent. We're going to be casting this back up.
I would say they were changing. So.
Hardwire.
You know, it may not be a bad idea. It's coming. Okay. All right. It's back up. Can you see that again, Brent?
Yeah, I see the titles, PWAC duties and responsibilities.
There we go. Okay, now it's back. We've had that problem before, and I don't know why. Then we went through our presentation and didn't have a problem again. So hopefully it only happens once here. So under duties and responsibilities, we've covered several different items relevant to Public Works Department, including parks and fleet and cemetery as well. This body is basically a recommending body that takes any plans or any ideas to the council for their ultimate for the recommendation and for the council approval. The council is very respectful and very appreciative of all of the efforts that we've gone forth and put forth and then presented to them. They feel like this committee is joins together to review all of these important ideas in a much higher level of detail above and beyond what they're able to do. And then they use this as a recommend body and a sounding board of sorts. And then I wouldn't say a shield, but it definitely does help when you have several people and organizations reviewing something and bringing it forward together in an endorsement in a unanimous fashion even. So over the last year, we have done all of these things. Hopefully you all remember these. It started a year ago with Cody. Back in August this time last year, Cody, you and your group presented on GIS or Geographic Information Systems. And then September of last year, we went to the Olmsted. And some of you saw maybe a ghost or two, I don't know, when you were up there. At least it was reported that there was a presence of those that may have been around in the past. There have been a lot of injuries and fatalities, fatal incidents that have occurred up there at the hydroelectric facility. Is that right, Mike? That's what
Some over time, probably.
Yeah.
Luckily not since we've been involved.
Well, not since nothing that you're personally aware of. Okay. That was fascinating. That was really a neat opportunity. for us to go up there, and it was eye-opening. The next item was November of 24. We had the Women and Children's Memorial, and that was done by Tyler, and he also presented on the Timpanogos Spike Skills Park at that time as well. After that, in January, Reed presented on the utility master plans. And then was Fred a part of our financial plan presentation? Yeah, Fred Philpott from Lewis Robertson Birmingham, and representing their firm, presented on how we can fund these master plans over time. And that included rate studies. That was the next meeting in April. We talked about the utility master plans and the associated rates and fees that needed to be adopted in order to support those. Impact fees was another portion of that presentation. Those have not been adopted at this time, but we are meeting with the mayor on Monday, actually next week, to review those recommendations in those plans. What will happen is when we do an impact fee study is Fred, in this case, the financial advisor or financial team, they'll tell us what we could charge up to. And then the council will have a discussion regarding, well, should we charge that amount, or should we charge something that's, and kind of lean into it over a series of maybe 5 years, let's say. They're sensitive about being on the high end. So we'll have Utah Home Builders, they produce a document that compares different cities that have impact fees, and then they'll share that with developers, and then they might shop around to different communities and then start building in those areas where maybe the rates are a little bit lower. I assume that's what happens. In any case, we've never adopted our impact fees at the highest level. And so that's always been a kind of a discussion, a sticky point, I would say. And you might think, well, maybe we should pass it on 100% on developers. Otherwise, those that are already here are going to be subsidizing them. So that's an argument that could be made. So the impact fees don't impact us unless they're fully supported and endorsed. If they're not, then basically those that are here right now subsidize those that are coming into the city new. Does that make sense? And then on July, just last month, we had the tour of the regional treatment plant up on the hill, which was really a nice tour, and appreciate your time and level of expertise that you provided up there. It was pretty eye-opening for many that were able to attend. And hopefully, Brent, next time we'll be able to catch you at one of those tours. We'll do better on trying to schedule that, because I know you missed that and you really wanted to be there. So apologize for that.
That's fine. I haven't toured that plant since I was a Boy Scout. So
Well, that was only 10 years ago.
Connect you anytime.
And so the next, so we're going to go into some level of detail on these slides. I mean, we're going to have maybe 15 minutes tops to make this presentation with the city council. And the rule of thumb is maybe you take about 45 minutes or seconds or 60 seconds per slide. We have probably 15 slides or so here, but if you can, I would like to just, present with a picture and then maybe have a discussion along the way. So maybe I'll work with Cody on maybe an excerpt from that presentation that might show a couple things of what we did. Again, this is going to be high level. We're not going to get into a high level of detail, but it's going to be a fine level of detail, but it's going to be more on the surface on these. But Cody provided the history of Orem's GIS recently. How long has it been now, Cody, since you've been in your position? Has it almost been 2 years?
Yeah.
Has it been 2? So in the past, we've had GIS. It's been managed by different groups throughout the city, scattered throughout. And 2 years ago, we brought them all together under Public Works, under Cody's leadership. And we centralized that in the hopes that there would be some benefits that would result from us that have resulted. I think I hear these guys upstairs, they brainstorm and they work on ideas together, and they're in a room together in a think tank of sorts. And before it was pretty much siloed and they were isolated, and there wasn't that synergy and that energy that's there today. And yesterday we had a really excellent meeting regarding some vision that is taking place as a result, I believe, of centralizing this. So I wanted also to discuss in this, and I think Jim really, when we met last Friday, Jim really wanted to focus on an aspect of this, which is asset management. For those of us that manage assets, which we all do to some degree, some are larger than others and cost more than others and so forth. But nonetheless, we're duty bound to manage these assets and to use these funds wisely and to look for expansion only when needed, perhaps, and only replace something after, it's primarily worn out. We don't want to spend money too soon on anything that's going to cost a lot of money, but we also need to fund it as well, using good financial plans. In some cases, it makes a lot of sense to bond and to spread that debt over generations because it's a multi-generational asset. There was a time back in about 2016 when our council gave us the direction to fund everything on a pay-as-you-go basis. How does that apply to GIS? Well, it ties to asset management and the planning for the future. So we'll have that, just a high-level discussion on that. Anything else any other ideas that you might have, bullet points? This isn't going to be a finalized version of this. This is the brainstorming version of this presentation. Cody, did you have anything, or any members of the commission that would like to add anything on here? Okay. Okay, let's move to the next one then. Our next meeting, we met at the Olmsted Hydroelectric Power Plant. And I was wondering maybe if Mike, you could maybe help with, or Robert, either one, on providing a little bit of additional history, maybe any pictures that you might have. I do have some that I just ripped off of the internet, off the website for the hydroelectric power plant, which are good. I'm wondering if it may not be a bad idea to suggest that there's a need for that plant to continue to exist, and it's all tied to the water rights. And if you didn't put forth this effort to maintain the hydroelectric power plant, then you would be out of compliance with the law or with your agreement regarding the water rights. I don't know how to put it
I
best.
just made a note. I can send you a PowerPoint that plus a slide.
I'll just rip those. Okay.
And then where does this power go?
Yeah, that's another question.
That one gets marketed through Provo City Power. It's kind of electronics go everywhere, but so we had to run a buried power line down through Ryan Smith's development there in the river we bought before it was there to transmit down to Provo City Power. It's always a big coordination challenge with hydropower on getting it out to the grid. So Provo City was our partner.
Prior to that, was WAPA, or what were they
I
doing?
assume Rocky Mountain Power probably fed it onto their grid, and yeah, probably WAPA Power.
But Provo City is your primary
Yeah.
group today. Okay.
Yeah, I can send you a slideshow.
Okay. All right. The next one is a presentation by Tyler. He gave on the Women and Children's Memorial with, I think Rob Beischlein was present at that or not. Or maybe no, he might not have been actually.
Yeah, I don't think we had registered.
So Method Studios, I mentioned Rob Beischlein. He is one of the principals at Method Studios. They help prepare some of these renderings for these memorials that we were reviewing and discussing. I know some council members will probably ask during this meeting, well, what's the status update on these? Where are these today, and so forth? And there's been no groundbreaking on any of these. The cost came in on this site at about $400,000, I think, for 1600 North Memorial. And today, I don't know if all of the council members would support funding this. maybe some would, some wouldn't. So we are seeking direction from the council on this. But I think I'm going to put this in slideshow mode, see if that does make it a little better. I thought the renderings were outstanding, and I liked what was put forth on this. And this was a result of, I think in part, a BYU student working with members of the community that live in this area. There is a known burial location or this was generally where maybe some pioneer children were buried, and they wanted to create a memorial for those children in remembrance of maybe history of and losing loved ones and so forth. Depending on the person you talk to and their vision for it, it's maybe a little bit different on what the intention should be for this. But it was a children's memorial of sorts here. And then there was the other site was at the Orem City Cemetery. We've designated an area, and we're not we've carved that out, and we're not burying anybody in this particular part of the cemetery. So it's the lower cemetery. It's the northwest portion, as you might recall. This is a beautiful rendering of this. Someday it may happen, but this is close to almost 1.5 to 2 million on that order, and that was back last year. So those were really rough numbers too at that time. They might have been inflated a little bit, but depending on what you want to improve, it's just going to cost more money. So, and maybe it's something that we continue to add to over time and make it look nicer and tweak it a little bit here and there over time. Tyler, do you have any updates on this, on any of these memorials, or?
Just that Anae's reached out to me a couple of times over the last several months with her ideas about maybe some symbolic meaning to the fountain, and she's asked that we regroup with Rob and arrange to have a visit up at I think the conference center, Salt Lake, and discuss some of her ideas. Now that we're in election year, she's kind of gotten quiet and is maybe focused on other things right now, but I have met with Rob. He's happy to meet. We've paid his initial costs for the design, and we're ready to take next steps if we want to. But I've kind of told Lene, probably don't need to engage in a whole lot more of this until we have some money raised, because it's all very far out in the future. She kind of agreed, but would still like to go up there and meet with him. So that's kind of where we're at on the project.
There was this is right next to the Murdoch Canal Trail, and there is some need to make some improvements down there from a maintenance building perspective, as well as a bathroom in the lower cemetery area, so people don't have to walk all the way up the hill to go to the bathroom up at the cemetery building. And so part of this, we were hoping to put in a new maintenance facility with the garage and to be able to maintain equipment and so forth and store equipment down there. And then also a bathroom facility, and tie it in conjunction with maybe a trailhead that would be right next to the trail. And I know it seems all of this doesn't seem to be very complementary in terms of having a trail and recreational facility in a cemetery, but it is what it is. The trail runs through it today, and it has over time, and it's been a canal, as you all know. So it's been disjointed, but there is a recreational component, and there are people that do ride bikes around the cemetery as well, and they visit grave sites there too. And we felt like that was an opportunity perhaps to use some funding resources out of our transportation funding group and kind of call it a trailhead where people can do some bike repairs if needed, or fill up the tires, or they can stop and use the bathroom, or maybe there's a little spot there to have a snack or a lunch, or and just to sit and kind of contemplate. I wouldn't call it a place where it's going to be loud and noisy. I mean, that's already there with the trail system itself, but we felt that maybe was complementary And we could fund some of this through transportation funds because it's a recreational transportation hub for the bikers. And Murdoch Canal Trail is heavily used. So what are your thoughts on that? I'm just curious as we kind of lean into that a little bit on tying that together with this location.
If it helps with funding, that always makes sense. Really. But yeah, I mean, that's an area that be advantage, be able to have a location that you're working with Murdoch Canal.
Makes it more utilized too.
Okay, I need to share this. With Brent. Just so you have an idea of what we're looking at here. This is the designated area for the memorial would be primarily in this area right here. We do have a facility right here. This is what we're looking at removing and then putting that over in this general location. There will be a small parking area for those that might want to come and visit the memorial. They can park along the street as well. Their bathrooms would be over here. The right of way for the canal is right along this tree line right here. And I think Murdoch Canals, I've talked to Dave Fox or Provo River Water Users Association. They've said that we could probably do some minor improvements on here, not structure wise, but maybe a place for a place to gather, and we can improve this so it's a nice grassier area or something like that. Bikes could come in here. They could have snacks or do whatever, take a break. And then the restroom facility would be down over here.
Where's your nearest sewer line?
8th East. So it'd have to come out here. This is up a little bit higher than out here. I think we can make that work. Good question. You're talking like a facilities manager.
There's your cost.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It's the other structure in the very top of the corner.
I think that's a utility company. Where's Jim? Jim's not here. Tyler, do you know what that is?
Sorry, what?
You want to ask that again?
The other structure there at the top of the triangle there.
I believe that belongs to a power company. I'm not certain what's in there. It's not ours. It's not our property.
So the boundary would come along here. This is our facility right here. Yeah, it's power? I don't know if it's gas or power.
Power, I'm pretty sure it's power.
Is it power?
It is, yeah. Look up all the parts of that.
It's not a substation or anything like that, so I'm not sure. And I think this is all fenced off, and this is a yard in the back right here. Are your thoughts maybe we talk to them?
Curious about the
Or?
entire property.
Okay. It'd be nice if we could utilize all of this. Maybe we should consider talking to them and seeing if there's an opportunity for them to relocate somewhere else if possible. And we could optimize that a little more. Okay. Any other ideas or thoughts regarding the memorials that you'd like to bring forward?
You're asking if we'd like more memorials somewhere else throughout.
Well, no, regarding these two in particular. Yeah, but if you like other ones, we can look at that too.
Belongs to the Mountain States Telephone and Telegraph Company.
Mountain States Telephone and Telegraph Company.
Maybe there's a person in there like
That's Ma Bell.
Morse code or something.
Or a switchboard.
That's interesting. We might want to try to find the contact for them and
Yeah.
see if there's
Reach out to them and see if it's even.
I know there was a major telephone transmission line on the east side of 8th East that runs up there, so that makes sense. Oops. Okay. And then Tyler gave a presentation on the Bike Skills Park. We could give updates on this. Maybe Tyler, you could tell when that started. You could provide dates, and then I'll put them on here on when we started contemplating this and the design efforts. And then we could provide background on our association with Central Utah Water. This whole area along this hillside is owned by Central Utah Water Conservancy District. We're working on an agreement right now, which I think is going to be mutually very beneficial, quite frankly, because that hillside is, you can't do anything on it except for something like this. This is really one of the only things that makes sense on this. But I think Central was willing to trade that property to the city, and then we would be able to take on all of that for the construction and the maintenance and the ensuing legal ramifications that may come from injuries and so forth, which would never happen though, Rob, don't you think, from a legal perspective? There will probably never be that. So they will not have that liability, which will be good for them. We'll take that on, and then we'll be able to operate and manage this facility, maintain it into the future. In exchange for that, they are, and I might need to share that map again, but they are in the process of finalizing a design, perhaps. I don't know how close you are in this. There's a 10 million gallon water tank that's right above this. It's right in this general location. If you were to see my mouse up here, and they need, that water comes from the Provo River at the Olmsted diversion on the Provo River upstream of the river a couple miles. And when you take water out of the river, you might have some sediment and some things that are floating and so forth. And then the tank that's built up there it has a component where it's created like a hopper, where the settlement or the sediment will settle towards the bottom, and then they'll take the water off the top, and that water comes to us to be further purified and treated at the plant. But then that sediment and so forth is like a sludge that then they're going to pipe down to the bottom near the trail at the Provo River, and they're going to further let that dry and process that, and then they're going to have to haul that away. So they needed access to that. So the access will be coming through our park, through our maintenance road that comes around, and from our parking lot, which is down in this general location, up around and then over, and they'll be able to access that. What Kirk was telling us yesterday, Kirk Beecher from Central Utah, was that they'll probably access that to haul away probably once or twice a year, but they'll access it regularly during the course of the year with maybe not a dump truck, but other maintenance vehicles or whatever. So we're going to grant to them an easement through our property. They're going to help us with that road and the wear and tear on the road, and then we'll exchange that for this property. You've probably had a chance to review all of this, the draft agreement.
I thought we were done with the agreement, so we're not finished yet.
No, no. I mean, it's there. It hasn't been signed. There's just some things that we're tweaking on it. You shared it with us. We're providing feedback, just some fine tuning on it. So I think it's a great idea. The bike skills park, we can get into the more of the recreational fun side of it. These are pictures that are taken from the plan that Tyler presented, which kind of are a representation of what some of the components and features might look like. And we're excited about this. All the bike people are up there over the last few days. They've been carving in the trails. They're working on it actively today. What's our anticipation date on that, Tyler, to get that finished and activated?
First couple of weeks in November.
So this fall, November. Okay. The next area that we wanted to represent, we kind of clustered all of these together, but we have the utility master plans, utility fees, and then also impact fees. There's nothing really with a picture here, perhaps to paint a picture or to tell the story through pictures on this. Maybe there are some things we can do here, but these are just notes that Jim and I put together on things that we wanted to maybe fine tune and focus in on, regarding sharing with them, the process that we went forth with Bone Collins and Associates for the master planning process. We need those plans in place before we can then do the financial planning and the modeling for that. We also need the master plans in place to create the capital facility plans, and those capital facility plans are necessary to then create the impact fee plans, which are necessary to create the impact fees, which are underway today. Jim thought maybe we should also include these documents here, which are hard to read, and I can zoom in on these during the presentation itself as we present. But you'll notice in this comparison here, this is our proposed data against their existing data. So our numbers are quite low compared against what their existing rates were back in 2025. Their rates have since gone up, and we should probably get those read and then update this to reflect apples to apples. But what we're showing here is what our proposed rates were and what they were adopted as against what the existing rates of a year ago from these other comparable cities, and we're still really low. We're among the 3 lowest in that comparison. I think we're probably lowest or second lowest as you compare ours against their data from today. For sewer, we're in the bottom third, and then stormwater right in the middle. There's a cluster of those that are right in the middle there. This analysis also goes into garbage and recycling and property tax and franchise tax. And this representation here is a summary of all of these together, and you're looking at your overall utility bill and what that looks like compared to all of these other 15 to 20 comparable cities. And our proposed rates against their FY26 rates we're still at the bottom almost on this. It's kind of, I don't know, maybe I can blow that up. You probably can't see the numbers very well on there. But as we compare against all of our rates against everyone, we're at 148 a month on average versus 145 on average. Of course, you're going to have peaks during the summer as you have higher rates coming in for power, and power is not a part of this though, but for water, your water consumption is going to be much higher, but this is the average during the course of the year. Do you think this is something that we should share with the council? They've seen this before, and I think it's good for them to see that we have our eyes on it as well. Anything you'd like us to focus in on regarding the master plans or the fees themselves or the impact fees or any discussions that we've had?
We've had this discussion before at the council, correct?
Yep. It's all gone to the council. They've seen it, and
So this is just kind of a review for them.
this is kind of an overview of what we've done, showing the big picture of everything. We're not going to probably have time to go into any level of detail.
Say this is a 15-minute presentation.
Yeah. And we can make it 5 if we just say, this is what we did in these months and show you some
Any
pictures.
questions?
Any questions?
I think the simple message for these is just simply that PWAC continues to review things before they're brought to the consideration of the council.
They were all adopted.
By the council. Yep. We brought them to PWAC for review, comment, and endorsement. And then we took that endorsement to city council.
So at a high level. Okay. Last thing that we went over or did was last month, and that was the treatment plant, Don A. Christensen Regional Water Treatment Plant. And I think maybe what I'll do there is I'll include some pictures.
Slideshow. We also have some back.
Jim and I will review this before we give the presentation. And I think less text is better, probably more pictures is better. And then we can just kind of shoot from the hip up there. We have all the background and the knowledge and the information to be able to share that with them, but maybe less text and more pictures be beneficial.
Slides and become your speaker notes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
Were
done a few
the
things.
wastewater reclamation facility capital improvements, was that prior to August of last year when we?
Yeah,
heard about that?
Was, yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
But that'll be a tour that we'll probably be giving in February when we have a ribbon cutting, or before perhaps. That's almost wrapping up for a water reuse project. We're able to treat water that'll be applied now at the golf course. And then, so this is wastewater that's treated at another high level degree of water quality. So it'll be type 1 water reuse that'll be treated and then provided for Springwater Park, the golf course at Sleepy Ridge, and then also Lakeside Sports Park. And so the water that they'll be using down there won't be culinary water. And so this will help us in many ways from our hydraulics of our culinary water system and pressure drops and so forth. We'll have a separate water source that'll be able to water those areas. So yeah, we didn't do that in the last 12 months. That was prior to that, but we still underway, and we'll have a ribbon cutting, I think, in February. It's been delayed. It was originally planned to be in April of this year. They had some supply chain issues, as everyone seems to be using that as an excuse, but I think it's a reality though, more than an excuse. And they kept costs at what the bid amount was, so that's good. It's taken a little bit longer than what was anticipated. And we hope to be throwing water on the ground in the spring of next year.
Good. Anything else we need to go over on that then?
I don't think so. That's our overview. So, go ahead.
Slide 16. One option might be to pull those apart.
Okay.
Because they are pretty small. If you want to put it all on
Maybe
them,
focus in.
you could maybe hit one slide and then hit another slide, the other one, something like that. That's just a thought. Maybe it doesn't work.
Well, I was thinking about that as well, because these really are hard to see, but maybe I can just focus in on,
And that way you can cut that one in half.
yeah,
Twice.
just this top part here, I think would be
This
most
be a question
beneficial.
of the council. This information kind of be a two-edged sword,
Yeah,
and it's not always apples to apples.
This is a table that they've seen. This is part of our budget presentation as well. So it's more of a free money to them.
My experience with politicians is that when they see we're towards the bottom, that's a positive for them,
Yes, it is a our count.
especially conservative.
not necessarily for the utility or facility manager who needs money to take care of things that
But if they're reporting to their citizens that they can say things like that, they'll be happy.
it's huge. Yeah, it's a big deal.
I think highlighting that makes some sense. But you know, they've seen it, so you have to spend a lot of time on it.
Right. They want to see where they rank more than anything, I think, on this. Good. Well, that's done. Boom. We'll make it look pretty. Or,
There you go.
It's information.
yeah. Gary, do you have anything?
In the GIS system, does that get down to the level of a citizen trying to get a map of Orem?
Yeah, we can get you a map.
From experience, I have a need to get a really good map of my area.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a map on the internet, but boy, could not use it at all.
Okay.
It comes in and out, but you can't actually, or I couldn't use it. Maybe anybody else could, but
Maybe you can stick around for a minute after, and then Cody over here can help you with
the
something
other
like
thing
that.
from my point of view was they actually called me and said, well, text and get some help. I did text.
Yeah.
Never response the whole day.
So, okay. I could follow up with you after this meeting on that.
Okay.
We have an outward reaching product called Connect with the community where people can, in fact, did we do the demo on that, Cody? With the PWAC? I don't know that we did. But I can show you really quickly though on here, Robert, on the screen. And let me share this so Brent can see it as well. So there's a product out here called Connect. Basically, it allows it's an outward reaching citizen portal, and you just create a really quick account to log in to identify where you are, and then you can report on a variety of issues that are identified here. So if you have an issue with your garbage can or stormwater or something with water, a water leak, a pothole, a water outage, street light issue, a hazard that you want to report. These are all things that are out there. And if it's something that doesn't fall under one of these areas, including utility billing, if you have a question, utility billing, if it's not identified here, you can click on other and then you can go to report it. And then it creates a map interface for you to report an issue. So you can click on that map where that pothole is, or where that street light's out, or wherever that incident, or if there's some kind of a property concern or a code enforcement issue, like this guy has got too many cars in his front yard that he's repairing, and you can report those kinds of things, and then the police, the NIT neighborhood improvement team will go out there and look at it. Though, is this kind of what you were thinking of, an interface where you could reach out and report an issue to the city?
I think I probably somehow was connected to that, but it could not actually do it.
Okay.
It tells you to grab the corner and bring it up. It didn't work. You can't do it.
Well, let's look at it right after this meeting. We can do it right here. Thank you.
Just I have one thing I might bring up. We had my wife and I walk in the morning, and we came to a point the garbage truck was coming in, and we really didn't have much room. We were trying to get out of the way.
You're on 2000 South.
He stopped
Yeah.
and says, "I've got a lot more concern for you and your grandkids than I do this garbage can." He just stopped, waited, and let us go.
Yeah.
They're really good.
Yeah. Were you on 2000 South by chance? Because you don't have a sidewalk in front of your house down there.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah. It is a concern that we have recognized.
Well, it's, if he was just odd, my point is he was really,
Good to work with.
really considerate.
Good.
It's great.
Yeah.
Good to hear.
Yeah, that is great. Waste Management is our contracted service provider for waste. So
They're very good.
garbage. Yeah.
Super.
Yeah, good. Thank you. Any other discussion?
Anything else we need to cover at all? Next meeting?
Next meeting. Any topics that you would like to cover? Anything you'd like to see? Any questions you'd like to have answered? We have our own ideas, and we'll be bringing those forward to you for consideration as well. But is there anything that's on your mind that you'd like to?
I don't know if I should mention that, but in the area from the four-way stop at Main in 2000, from there to the roundabout,
Yeah.
the speed limit is 25.
Yeah.
From the roundabout out to the Walmart area, it's 35.
On Sandhill.
And there's a lot more residents, a lot more active on that Sandhill Road. I think that it'd be more appropriate to have a 35 limit on that area from Main down. That's a big wide road and hardly anybody there. And at the roundabout, especially if it's bad weather, you can't really see the concrete parts of the roundabout. And I think if some paint or something was on it would make it a lot safer and easier. And I know that's a problem because you can see that the concrete is just black with tires that run over it and run into it. Just make it.
I got Taylor over here. Raise your hand. He's our traffic operations engineer. We can talk to you about that after this meeting as well.
Okay.
We have a meeting here at is it 9 o'clock? We call it the Traffic Tiger Team. We review all of these types of inputs from citizens and from internally. We review these types of things every 2 weeks. And we have PD involved, our police department involved. We have engineering involved. We have our public works team involved with that. So we're looking at it from different perspectives and then making improvements along the way. So I appreciate that. There'll probably be a crosswalk on 2000 South by that church, right? Probably that you go to. That's going to be, we've done a study on that recently. And so that's going to be installed in the next little bit for people to cross 2000 South. Anyway, we'll chat after this. Okay. So next meeting and topic.
What about transportation in South Orem? I've heard in the Provo mayoral race or push against 8th North interchange and pushing that into Orem again. Continued
It's been a constant discussion.
for 20 or 20 plus years at least. So.
They've contemplated this for decades, right?
As long as I
With
can.
UDOT and Provo.
You went out to the county.
I don't know if UDOT was actually purchasing properties along 800 North and 820 North, but and I did see it has become an issue again in the mayoral race with both candidates.
In Orem or
In
Provo?
Provo.
Okay.
Just overall transportation.
So overall transportation.
Master
Okay.
plan would be good.
That'd be good. Transportation master plan.
It's not really in the purview of this commission, but maybe a tour of the new city building.
It is nice. Yeah. Yeah, we could do that.
Any date?
Is the tank? What's the status of the tank?
The 10 million gallon tank. It's completed. It's not operational yet because we need the booster station and the well to complement that so we can pump into the system. And those contracts, Reed, do you know the latest on that?
Dry Creek supposed to finish up landscaping last week. And then Newman was going to move in to begin construction end of the month. So
End of August.
end of August. Yeah.
And that'll be an 18-month process, construction.
Booster station as well.
Yeah.
The tank's full of water, sitting there full of water.
Yeah, they cleaned it a couple weeks ago by pumping more water into it to test the overflow and got a lot of the concrete powders and things that they tried to get up that came off. So they and dosed it again with chlorine. But yeah, it's full, but it's just sitting there stagnant water.
It'll become stormwater before we, and then we'll be cleaning it before we put culinary water back in for drinking purposes. And that'll be a year and a half away. So just holding it all together and letting it get used to its new environment in the wet.
Park. We'll keep the park closed until the construction is done because they'll be accessing it off of Fort South. It'll be safe to be in there. For the most part, it's done.
So we'll definitely do a tour of those perhaps at some point during construction for the well and also the booster station. And then we could tour the park, which will be in place and in use shortly, actually. So our next meeting, go ahead, Gary.
What is the status of the property north of 2000 South, just barely up from Geneva Road, where there used to be kind of an entertainment park?
The Wilkerson Farm property.
Yeah.
There was a referendum process that was initiated by James Brown. You all know James Brown, I believe. And you probably knew him. Was he in your neighborhood? he passed away. He initiated that process, but he passed away a couple months ago. The referendum failed. They had 350 votes in favor of basically what the referendum was for was to reverse the zoning. It was zoned as an R8 property, which is a standard residential property that we have as a backbone of our zoning in the city of Orem, and that was referred or attempted to be referred and brought to a vote of the people at the next election. However, they didn't meet the threshold. I think the number was 7,500 names that they needed, and they only had 350 that were eligible or legitimate or qualified. So that process is the referendum process is done, and now the developer is going to be building residential lots there, R8. It's no longer going to be an agri-tainment facility or an agricultural area. It'll be residential
Will be
area.
residential, and that's the same as on the south side.
It's the same contractor, same type of development on the south side in Provo. Yeah, and that project's underway on the south side.
Yeah,
So that same group's going to come to the north.
it sure is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, date again?
Do you want to meet next month or in 2 months? What would you like to do?
What's the feeling of the group?
Personally, my September's rough, so, but you do what you like.
Do we want to go to October?
Sure.
Okay.
We're looking at the 14th. Or the 21st?
21st.
Is that better, the 21st?
Yeah. It would be for me for sure.
Okay. So October 21st then?
My only other thought, and thank you, is if there's something that the city council would like from us,
Right.
as you're talking with them, we appreciate their work, and if there's something they'd like for us to look at, we'd be happy to take that on as necessary.
Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Second?
Second.
Okay, Dater? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're done.
Okay. Great.
Thanks.
Thank
Appreciate
you all.
doing all
Thanks,
that,
Brent, for
Chris.
coming on remotely.
Thanks, everyone. Have a
All
great
right.
day.
You
Thanks.
too.
See ya.
Bye.